AIHM and CT कैसे डिफरेंट है फ्रॉम द इंस्टीट्यूट्स ऑफ होटल मैनेजमेंट अक्रॉस द कंट्री?
सारे कॉलेजेस तो मोस्टली सिमिलर होते हैं, उनका एनवायरनमेंट में फर्क पड़ता है. मोस्ट ऑफ द कॉलेजेस आर ऑफरिंग either bachelor's degree, diplomas or certificate courses. We have the AIHM&CT also, which is a 30-year-old institution. This is a service industry where the customer, irrespective of your difficulty and your situation, is expecting and is paying for the service.
The standards have to be maintained.
The opportunities are huge.
Okay.
Since in India, the tourism industry is growing at a very
booming.
fast
Yes,
pace.
yes.
And especially in the last few years, after this COVID, there is a thing called revenge tourism which has come in.
Revenge tourism.
Yeah.
सर टेक्नोलॉजिकल डेवलपमेंट्स जो हैं बहुत फास्ट पेस पे हो रहे हैं.
बिल्कुल.
आपने रिसर्च पेपर्स किए हैं ऑन आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस इस इंडस्ट्री में कैसे इनकॉर्पोरेट किया जाए.
Yes.
सो प्लीज टेल आवर व्यूअर्स अ लिटिल मोर ऑन द एआई एस्पेक्ट ऑफ द होटल इंडस्ट्री. सर ये जो इंस्टीट्यूट है इट इज इन दी लाइक वी मेंशन्ड अर्लियर इट्स इन द आउटस्कर्ट्स ऑफ बैंगलोर एंड इट्स बच्चे जो है वहीं पे हॉस्टल फैसिलिटीज भी हैं.
Yes.
वहीं बच्चों का इंस्टीट्यूट भी है. अ लिटिल वर्ड ऑन द इंस्टीट्यूट पर से एंड क्या ऑप्शंस हैं अवेलेबल बच्चे के लिए व्हेन दे बिकम पार्ट ऑफ दिस इंस्टीट्यूट.
See, firstly, it's around 12.5 to 13-acre campus, very beautiful campus, which hosts about an academic block, a hospitality block where we have a number of rooms for our guests also. We have an administrative block, we have couple of boys hostels and a girls hostel.
Okay.
So we have about 600 capacity in the hostels. And the entire campus is huge. We have a lot of sports areas.
Okay.
We have basketball options, we have volleyball fields, we have football field and cricket fields. And we also have indoor sports, we have badminton courts, and as we focus on holistic development. Correct. Not just academics. We are also located in such a place where the Bhartiya city is just one stone's throw away from our campus. The Bhartiya city mall and the Leela Bhartiya hotel is also just 500 meters away from our campus.
So it's very well located.
Yeah, it's very ideally located. All your requirements, whatever you would need, is available at just a 10 minutes call. And today we have come to a stage where you have deliveries happening every time.
Of course.
So the students have everything in close proximity.
Okay.
They have very good accommodations available. We also look at the greenness of the campus. So it's we provide solar energy in most of the hostels. The electricity is also, powered.
Wow, that's nice.
As far as possible. Yeah. We are looking at that also. And we have a very good catering facility in the campus. So they have access to all meals and facilities there.
It has to be the best service of hotel management after all.
Yes, but again, I won't, certify it as the best. We always will be improving on that.
Yes, yes.
And as such, the location helps. All the faculty members mostly are also residential.
Okay.
So even I reside in the campus.
That's lovely.
So, you have more time for interaction, more time for, bonding, and as well as
it's a home away from
learning.
home kind of
it's
a thing.
Home away
and
from
safety
home.
and security, you cannot have any doubts about that. Being an army run institute, I'm sure it is the most looked after aspect of it. आपने in fact, sir, ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज स्ट्रेटेजिक ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज में अपना रिसर्च पेपर आपने लिखा है एंड आई थिंक दिस इज एन इंडस्ट्री जहाँ पे ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज आई थिंक को हम सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस देते हैं बिकॉज इट्स अ वेरी ह्यूमन टच दैट वी टॉकिंग ऑफ बारिंग ऑफ कोर्स द एआई कमिंग इन एंड डिफरेंट वो एक अलग जोन हो जाता है. एचआर का क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है इन दिस इंडस्ट्री एंड हाउ आर यू ट्रेनिंग द चिल्ड्रन in the institute on these aspects?
See, I'll tell you, it's a double-edged sword. You have asked this question, so I'll give a...
Really? Okay.
It's a double-edged sword. Why? Okay. I'll tell you why. The industry has a lot of, the right way to put it is, though the industry is manpower intensive and it takes a lot of, work from human resources, this industry was not known for providing the best of facilities for the employees.
Was you're talking in the past?
Was. It is a improving stage.
Okay.
Today, I think most of the leading group hotels have taken note of this issue,
I'm
and
so glad.
they are working on that. But yes, 15-20 years, maybe 25 years back and all, I remember the times when I started off and all, the working hours and all were beyond, any logic. We used to work for 18-20 hours in a day. And
The permissible limit normally is 9 hours, 8 to 9
yeah,
hours.
see, and that also has a scientific reason. It says that after a person works for 8-9 hours, physically, his abilities go down. See, I'll give you an example. If you take a, air traffic controller, or, the signal clerk who is working on a very busy railway station, they are shifted every 2 hours. Because,
Correct.
one small error from their side because of fatigue
Yes.
or miss
Yes.
can lead to major accidents.
Absolutely.
And this 8 hour or 9 hour concept, including breaks, is made on the scientific idea that a human body requires rest after this time. But this industry was happily ignoring that because they were making people work for 12, 14, 16 hours, whatever, there was no guidelines. My research has also been a lot on these areas, where I have written in a lot of papers how the manpower of the hospitality industry is being, the right word is, not utilized in the right manner. They are being either overused or, under, and there are multiple other things which have come in. Today, though, the major properties have taken cognizance to this fact, and they are working on improving the work-life balance and other things. There are still smaller organizations which operate in smaller places, which are still using people from rural background who are not qualified as labor in different areas, and they are exploiting them.
Yes.
For these people who come from such backgrounds, the minimum wages and and an option of 3 meals a day with some accommodation is a big thing.
Absolutely.
And the employers are actually making a huge profit out of this. Which is
exploitation.
Yeah, which is wrong. Somewhere, people have to, and with the like upcoming technology and availability of knowledge, this is changing. But this needs a much faster pace of change. But today's students can be sure that, in the leading properties and all, most of these organizations have a very well structured career growth plan and employment plan. They do provide benefits and accord them with decent work timings. They help them to work life balance. There are hotels which have got counselors. There are some hotels which have gone on to provide 6 offs a month instead of just a weekly off.
That's nice.
So additional benefits are being inculcated. The HR is working with its own mission, let us say. Normally the HR would follow the organization's guidelines.
Correct.
When the HR starts putting guidelines which the organization has to follow as per the right stipulations or guidelines for human resources, that would be the best places to work.
Right.
And it needs time. Our country is slowly revolutionizing into this.
Right.
But again, as I said, it's a labor intensive country. When you decide not to work, there are 10 people waiting for a job.
Absolutely.
So the organizations still are not, in that mind where they are really sure that they want to employ the best at the cost.
Correct.
So that change is coming in.
एंड जहाँ तक हम बात करें सैलरी पैकेजेस की, जहाँ तक हम बात करें जो, क्योंकि हर जॉब का एंड प्रोडक्ट होता है विच कितना पैकेज पे बच्चे को प्लेस किया गया है. सो इन दिस इंडस्ट्री, what is the most expected package that the children start with, and to what level can they move up to? तो इसमें financial aspect के बारे में से बात कीजिए थोड़ा.
See, if they move out from a good college, the leading hotels in the country at the management training level, which is the highest entry level somewhere, the starting packages are anywhere around 40 to 65,000 a month. Something, if you look at it, converts to around 5 to 7 lakhs a CTC starting per annum. But again, when they say CTC, there are additional benefits which don't come in.
Like?
Sometimes, like, see, in this hospitality industry, food is usually provided.
Okay.
And of course, your uniforms, washing and all is taken care of in the organization. These are not sometimes included personally in your CTC. Organization to organization, it might vary.
Varies.
But roughly, I say this is the range. But entry-level positions from, institutions which are not the premier ones, the industry still works somewhere from 15 to 25 range, which is like 1.8 to 2.5 lakhs starting. And there are smaller institutions which run just like, as I told, a labor churning workforce. So they could start at even lower packages.
Okay, because hotel management industry को normally अगर किसी एक आम इंसान से बात की जाए तो सोचेंगे शेफ बनेंगे. होटल मैनेजमेंट they associate with शेफ बस, बल्कि उसके अलावा it's a hospitality industry. I think cruise ships में भी आपको वहाँ पे employability मिल जाती है, hotels में मिलती है. And so can you just give us little bit more on what are the various avenues available to children other than hotels?
Yeah. See, this is a question which is very close to my heart.
Oh, really? Okay.
Why? Because you may study multiple different, courses after your plus two. You might go for engineering, you might go for medicines, and you might go for commerce, arts, science, whatever. Hospitality also is one just option. In hotel management, I have found something very interesting is that whatever you learn is something which you can use in your life.
Okay.
So the core competencies which we teach is food production, cooking,
right,
service, housekeeping, and front office. And all of these are part of your way of life.
Okay.
Even in your house.
Yes, I'm getting that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to make your bed, you need to keep things cleanly, interior decoration, all these things are covered a little bit. So you get a input of that. Receiving guests, that is the front desk job or the service restaurant hostess. Presenting the food on the table, how to serve. These are all things which we teach, which is a day use requirement.
Yes.
So all these are also options of careers. So you see, we have a big basket. And today, as you said, cruise lines, aviation.
Yes.
My students are working in the banking sector. They are working in the automobile sector as customer service heads. They are working in the retail sector. So, the market is huge.
It's hospitality, end of the day.
And at the end of it, it is customers and your service.
Yes.
So there is no limit to it. You just see, everybody cannot become a chef because that is a very skill-oriented job. You must, putting it this way that, you may be good at it, but if your taste does not match the taste of 100 odd people,
yes,
and your taste is a bit different, you will never be a successful chef.
Yes, correct.
See, your taste, if it is a taste which is common with people, that is a God's gift.
Yes.
If
correct.
you have it, then you will shine in that field. But other areas, it is your effort which will help you to grow.
How true? Because हम जब chef की बात करते हैं तो like some names come across like Sanjeev Kapoor and that Ranveer.
Yes, Ranveer Brar, Vikas Khanna. Yes,
Vikas Khanna and then of course Ram Se and all those. So आप खुद एक continental chef रह चुके हैं and that too in the Taj group of hotels, and from there you took your operational, आपने काफी वहाँ पे learn किया. So as a chef, passion towards food होना कितना जरूरी है?
See, that's what
or it can be developed.
You can develop your skills, you know, but certain things are with you.
Right.
It's not something which you can, like I'll say the taste bud which you have.
Yes.
You are born with it. It's a God's gift. There are people who don't have a proper taste bud but still are working as a chef. I am not saying that they are not good chefs.
I agree.
But those exceptional ones would have that,
Yes.
blessings of the God.
Absolutely.
So, in my own experience, I have seen this happening where I'll share a small incident with you. One of my ex, bosses actually.
Okay.
He was having a fast on a particular day, and he had asked me to, prepare some dishes for the restaurant. So he didn't expect that I would do it on that particular day. And when I walked down, I found the restaurant was little less crowded. So I prepared it on the same day, and I had it sent him over for him to check so that we can implement those in the hotel. When I took it to him, he said that, this today I am fasting. Then he called a couple of his friends to come and check. And then he said, like, since you have made it, I will just take 1 spoon of it.
How nice.
But the moment he started, he could not stop himself.
Oh, wow. That speaks of your
he emptied
skills.
the entire dish.
Okay. On fasting day.
On a fasting day. And interestingly, at that time, his friends came in and asked him, like, what is it that you want me to check? Then he looked and he was so embarrassed. Then he just, he came and hugged me and he said, like, see, you are blessed. His line, I am again quoting, food is something, which should make people forget everything else. When you eat the first mouthful, your mind, everything should go out and you should only focus on that.
How nice.
If your taste buds can be made in such a way that, somebody can tingle that emotion in you, that is a good chef.
आपने बड़ी प्यारी बात बोली. It's an emotion.
Yes.
Taste, food, it's equivalent to emotion. मतलब food for people is like emotion.
It should make you forget everything. They say mother's food is the best.
Yes.
I have my own thought on that. I say that, a person grows up eating his mother's cooking. And that is why, they relate to it. It's the emotion.
Yes.
Every mother may not be the best chef. But for that son, she is definitely the best.
Because that food is made with love.
Since we can never become mothers, for us, if we have that blessing of God and that touch in us where your food is, bringing that emotion, then you become a great chef.
How such a beautiful thing you said, sir. क्योंकि ऐसा कहते हैं ना, जब किसी का मूड बहुत खराब होता है तो sometimes good food can do that.
Exactly. It will change your way of thinking. It will uplift your thought. It will make you feel, an aura of joy.
And same thing applies in hotels as well. कभी-कभी हम किसी ऐसे मूड में होते हैं, we look for the right hotel to go and eat food and we repeat that place. And then chef plays a very important role. And we can tell कि शायद chef change हुआ है. कभी-कभी वो change of taste is, visible.
100%.
Visible या in the taste buds में पता चलता है.
बिल्कुल.
How lovely, sir. It's a very nice thing you said.
They say, cooking is both a science and an art. Chefs, they use the entire senses.
Yes.
You don't start eating with your mouth. You start with your eyes. When you look at the food, it has to be appealing,
Yes.
When your eyes approve it, then comes your nose. That smell has to be good.
So true. It's an art.
When the right smell comes in, your mouth starts watering.
Yes, it does.
And that intrinsic urge comes in for you to taste.
Wow.
And that taste also has to complement that smell.
Yes.
You see, if anywhere there is a mismatch, the experience is lost.
How true. So ये बच्चों को क्या इस तरह की कुछ informations या discussions इस तरह की होती हैं बच्चों को? Is it important to teach them at the learning level, or it comes with experience?
No, it is a continuous process.
It's a continuous process.
And yes, we do lay the foundations for these things. We give them, tests and we train them so that they learn to present the product properly.
So they make there and also eat
exactly.
to see how it has been made and all that.
Yes.
So it's so important.
And you should also check, see, a good chef, when he is training his, newcomers who are there, will not just say that, this is not good. He will show them what is good.
How nice.
And that is the only way, for me, when I look at students in the class, I tell them that you please make mistakes. You need to burn food, you need to, break a few things, not willingly, but if that happens as part of your learning, that is the place, you are supposed to do. And that is the role of a teacher, to ensure that those things are rectified.
Correct.
Mistakes are the foundation for learning.
How true, sir. और आपने रिसर्च सस्टेनेबिलिटी के ऊपर भी किया है एंड यू रिटन अ रिसर्च पेपर ऑन दैट. क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है सस्टेनेबिलिटी की इन दिस इंडस्ट्री?
Not industry, madam, in today's world.
I agree. Specific to this industry, let's say.
I'll come to the whole thing. Sustainability, the word itself is such a big word which has such a huge amount of, knowledge kept in a word.
Okay.
Because what is sustainable is something that a generation leaves for the next.
It's a responsibility.
It's a responsibility.
Correct.
It's not just something that we need to do, or it's not something that, it's at a cost and we'll think whether it is required or not. It is a binding, it is an effort. And even from every aspect, today the sustainable development goals are there. We have, 17 to 21 different goals, which is followed by the United Nations. And even in education, we are implementing many of these goals. As food, see, elimination of poverty and, elimination of hunger. These are all very important sustainable development goals.
Bilkul, yes.
And students who are going to be in this industry, they are the front runners in the coming days, and they have to take this forward. We have sustainability at every level, whether it is in your house, how much of water you are saving, how much of energy you are saving, how much you are saving so that you can contribute something to the next generation.
And hotels are doing their bit in this regard.
Yes, we are working with a lot of hotels. We are looking at, green hotels. That is the new term.
Green hotels, okay.
Which are sustainable.
Got it.
Which do not leave a carbon footprint, or at least which has a positive carbon footprint, not a negative one.
But क्या ये हो पाता है sir 100%?
हो तो पाता है.
अच्छा.
If, see, it has a cost. That's why I said it's not as easy said as done.
Correct.
We are now looking at areas which we never thought of before. We are looking at a green supply chain management process. We are looking at, providing all the facilities which are sustainable. And, we are trying to create an ecosystem which is sustainable by itself. So it's a challenging process.
Because water is one of the resources, I think, because we need new sheets. Every time a new guest comes, it has to be. So cleanliness of,
Yes, ma'am. See,
so pani ka kafi
I'll tell you, the use is high. We do not say that the use can be cut down, but it can be minimized. I'll give you examples like, when people brush, they usually have a habit of keeping the tap open. And
they waste a lot of water.
They waste a lot of water. So these kind of inputs are given. So, it reminds you that please keep the tap closed when not in use. Use the shower, use the, control to minimize the water flow. If you are reusing your laundry or linen for a next day also, your contribution to the environment is appreciated. So most of the hotels put all these. And yes, guests are also, coming forward. We are looking, one of my recent studies was on green practices in hotels.
Green practices. Okay.
It was done in the National Capital Region of Delhi. And we did find that, we gave a lot of recommendations for some hotels to adopt. As well as, we had recommendations for customers who are using these hotels.
Okay.
See, we can only suggest, because somewhere, the cost of green practices comes to 10-15% more than a normal property. But if we willingly make a choice that I'll pay that extra 10%, but I will not destroy the environment, which is a legacy which I want to carry forward for my next generation and their future generations. We cannot enforce it because, but somewhere we have to start.
How true, how true.
The government also has to take, they are taking, and there is a lot more, steps they need to bring into this. If they do, we are also encouraging the use of glass bottles. We are trying to avoid plastic.
Yes.
Food grade materials are being promoted. Organic food is being promoted. So we are trying as best as possible, to bring this step by step higher.
जो hotels में सर जो खाना सर्व होता है, the spread जो होता है and guests come eat and go, काफी खाना बच जाता है. It has always been a, I always had that inquisitive thing in me कि उस खाने का बाद में क्या होता है. काफी खाना होता है जो बच जाता है. So just want to know from you, since you are from this industry and you've seen this first hand, उसको कैसे sustainable किया जाए इस particular process को, and what are being done, what steps are being taken उस खाने को कि poor तक पहुंचाया जाए, whatever. So what all steps are being taken, sir?
See, this is again a practice or a policy of the organization. So depending on organization, there are multiple ways.
Okay.
Mostly what happens is we get the maximum leftover foods which come is from banquet business.
Yes.
So restaurant business is generally, limited
or
only.
Buffets or
so wherever, see, the buffets also are, I'll come to that.
Okay.
Buffets are planned for a number of guests only.
Acha.
So portions are not prepared in that huge quantity to create a lot of wastage. Those chefs are trained to, look at it. Yeah, they have statistical data as well as their experience to guide them. Monday, we sell around 100 buffets. So they would plan for 110 persons only. So if there is a wastage, there is a wastage for 10 persons food, which would be consumed by the staff.
Right.
Which would be put out as a dinner buffet for the midnight buffet for the staff before going home. They can have their dinner or something. So the wastage is controlled.
Okay.
But banquets are places, where you are, though there is a forecasting and a planning, but many times there are different challenges which are not controllable. So there is a good quantity of food. So different hotels, they have different practices. Now, certain hotels, they have a practice, what can be reused, they would, have a reshape process. They would either blast chill those items, and then keeping the hygiene and safety in mind, they would put it as cold food items or something in the coming day. Certain hotels would provide it as a staff meal for the staff of the hotel. And even in cruises also, this is what the practice, what from the guest buffet, whatever is left would go down to the crew galley as a meal in the upcoming.
So generally it gets finished.
Yeah, we generally try. Some hotels also have a policy. They have tie-up with, old age homes or orphanages and NGOs.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you.
That is also a practice.
I think it's a good practice because those who are not getting a meal in the night or the morning or the afternoon, this leftover food can be a good...
We don't usually, encourage putting any food into the dustbin. That is the last resort. If there is no other way it can be utilized, we would, as chefs also, our prime thought is it's not just food, it's a creation. And a creation we do not want ending up in
Absolutely. Itne प्यार से जिस चीज को बनाया जाए, how can you see it down in the dustbin, of course.
Exactly.
And so this industry, just यहाँ पे ना experiential travels और wellness tourism, इस तरह के काफी हम वर्ड सुनते हैं. तो जो बच्चे इस इंडस्ट्री में आना चाहते हैं, इन एवेन्यूज में क्या स्कोप है सर उनका?
Okay. See, again, that is also one more area where, I have published a couple of research papers also.
I see. Okay.
And wellness is something, we define wellness in 4 or 5 categories actually.
Okay.
Physical, mental, social wellness, emotional wellness, psychological wellness, and also somewhere, in between, I have included financial wellness also.
Of course.
So, these are interdependent. Now, there are people who are making careers as wellness coaches. They are putting,
Yes.
there is a mix of, healing therapies and Ayurveda and naturopathy also in part of wellnesses. Hotels have wellness zones where, they provide facility like spa and jacuzzi and all those kind of treatments.
Yes.
So,
They are essential part of the
yes,
hotels.
they are essential part of. Though directly the hotel management students, do not, maybe are not equipped when they pass the institution to go into these areas. But yes, they do have the knowledge to manage these places.
They can open a chain of such.
Yeah. No, even in the hotel, if there is a wellness center, the wellness center would usually come under the front office or front desk manager. So the students would know the operations, and they would know the costs involved. They would know the requirements. They might not be, exactly conversant with the processes that are being used.
Right.
But they would be able to maintain and manage the system there.
Of course, and I think सबसे important managing ही होता है.
Yes,
Just
yes.
setting up is not important. Important is to manage those
Exactly.
setups. Sir, we've had a very good discussion अभी तक जो आपने हमें बताया है about this industry. तो realistically parents क्या evaluate करें? क्योंकि आजकल बच्चे वैसे ही बहुत वेल इक्विप्ड हैं सर विद देयर नॉलेज बेस. आई थिंक उन्हें पहले ही पता होता है मुझे क्या करना है. अनलाइक द प्रीवियस जनरेशंस, पेरेंट्स वर अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल ऑफ डिसीजन मेकिंग ऑफ व्हाट वुड द चाइल्ड डू. आजकल बच्चे खुद ही क्लियर होते हैं कि मुझे ये करना है, ये करना है. तो जब इवैल्यूएशन प्रोसेस चल रही है माइंड में सर, व्हाट पॉइंट्स वुड यू वांट टू गिव टू दोज पेरेंट्स, टू दोज चिल्ड्रन जो वो रियलिस्टिकली इवैल्यूएट करें एंड इस इंडस्ट्री में आना है या नहीं आना है, उसके क्या कुछ प्रिकर्सर्स हैं एट द एज ऑफ 11th 12th में जब बच्चे होते हैं, कुछ इसके बारे में प्लीज गिव अस.
Sure. See, parents, we should actually, in today's date, they should not, it's a thought that they should not, plan and enforce things for their children. They should help their children to select their career option. And they should support their children. Parents should not, give their preconceived ideas, what they have, or their perceptions. That, I am a lawyer, my son should be a lawyer.
Yes.
This kind of traditional things should be, kept under, and they should allow the student to look up and, let's say live his passion or his ability, his or her, passion and ability. Students can, evaluate themselves. They can, experience this also. As I said, you would remember this point which I said, this is not just education, it's a way of life.
Absolutely.
What I have shared is, I have seen there are students who have gone into maybe engineering and then gone into a MBA or something, and they are working in a different role. Where what engineering studies they have done has got nothing to do.
So true. So true.
But this will never be with a hotel management graduate.
Yes.
Because somewhere or the other, something that he has learnt, he will be putting in use.
Absolutely.
So this is just one thought. As a parent, I would just advise all the parents to, give a free option for the students to look at their options. When they look at an institution which they want to select, let them, look at the background of the institution, the years of establishment, the faculty members. Let them interact with the faculty and let them see the institution by itself and see what it is capable of delivering.
Yes.
But again, let them not hold the institution responsible of delivering, because the responsibility should be of the individual.
Yes.
I have 100 students in the class and all 100 don't come first.
Absolutely.
So they must also train the students or their children to be responsible for their actions. the institutions are a guiding force. I am not saying that mine or AIHM&CT is the only institution. If they find a institution which is good, which they find is suitable, they are welcome to choose. I am only here promoting this institution as one of the best institutions that is available.
But
one they can look at as a choice, where we know we have our benchmarks, we have our standards, and we will definitely help the children who come in to reach and fulfill their dreams.
Correct. But
the effort has to be of the student, and the parents should have that confidence in our team, and they should support us throughout the journey.
How lovely, and that is true of any field, sir. ये तो I think हर field
Yes,
है.
ma'am.
And you said it's a way of life. I think army also is a way of life. I think
Yes.
तभी I think I can say with confidence कि जब आप army में आते हैं तो आप एक lifestyle जीते हैं. तो you
Yes.
say that army is a way of life. So likewise you're mentioning the hospitality industry, जो एक purpose driven industry है, growth
Yes.
driven industry है, and ever evolving industry है.
It's a very demanding industry.
Very demanding industry. So I think the children who are really wanting to, given जो उनके अंदर एक वो होती है ना,
Yes.
आग होती है बच्चों में कि I
Yes.
want to do this, I want to do that. So if they have a little interest in this field, so I'm going to leave all the descriptions in my podcast. Please do visit the bio. Please do visit the links. I'm going to leave the website, the phone numbers that you can connect to. And please make sure आप उन links पे जाएं. इस पूरे institute के बारे में देखिए, understand कीजिए what are the offerings that they have, the courses that they are offering. And they have a wonderful set of faculty that they have, which is training the students of the future hotel management industry की जो future है, उसको आज training वहाँ दी जा रही है. And best of all, being an army institute, उनमें जो instill किया जा रहा है leadership, that purpose जो एक life में हर इंसान के होना चाहिए. I think these are the high points of this institute, sir. जो
Yes.
मेरा मानना है, sir. I think Army is doing a great job by putting such institutes in place, and especially
Yes.
for the children of our serving and retired
Yes.
soldiers.
Yes.
So, what message do you have at large, sir, for the children today who are seeking guidance at that, एक ऐसे बच्चे मोड़ पे आ जाते हैं. तो as the head of this institute, as the professor of this institute, and a person who has been in this industry for maybe about 3 to 4 decades now.
Yes.
तो आपका सर क्या बच्चों को मैसेज है, and how would you want to encourage them to be a part of your institute?
Sure, ma'am. See, first, what I would like to say here is that, this age which is around 18 to 20, where you actually move into your professional career or related education.
Yes, sir.
This is a very crucial time for everybody, whether it is the institution, whether it is the student, whether it is the parent. And people, generally the students at this age, they are looking at not just making careers, but they are looking at, fulfilling their dreams and other sort of ambitions and hopes and so many other thoughts which would be there in their mind. And they are looking at finding a right, venue to move into this line. So somewhere what happens is, they should also understand that there is no venue for success or growth without your effort. So if you feel that you will be, you've scored marks in 12th and, you want to be an engineer or a doctor or a, chartered accountant or something else, and you feel that it is going to happen by itself, it will not happen. You have to make it happen. Whether you are choosing a hotel management career, whether you are choosing any other career, you have to see how you are going to be the best in that field. Only then your value will increase. So I would say that, whichever field you want to select, be free in your choice. If you want to choose hotel management also, feel free, because you have a passion, you have an interest. Don't choose it because, you didn't find anything else which is meeting your requirements, or maybe you want to be in a particular college because of multiple reasons. I'm not going into those. Your choice should be clear, why you have chosen, and you must be ready to put effort to grow in that field. Nothing comes. See, your teachers are like lights in a tunnel.
Correct.
They can just point you in the direction. but it is you who have to walk.
Yes.
And if you feel that somebody is going to walk for you, you will find that at the end of the program, there will be 2 or 3 categories of, output. One who would say that, this is the best course because they are successful.
Yes.
One would say that this is nothing so great. It's an average program. You may select it. And the last one would be cursing that why it's a very wrong choice. Don't go for it.
It's true of I think all the institutes.
It's true of
correct.
all the institutes.
Correct.
And it is basically my advice that you try to be in the first group where you are able to say that, I made this choice and this was the best choice.
Yes.
So how you are going to be, it is entirely dependent on you. We as an institution are always there. We are here to, help you in achieving your dreams and your career pathways. If you have the right passion and the interest, please come and meet us. We will guide you. But again, as I said, a word of caution there. Don't expect us to do it for you.
Yes,
we will only
course.
help you if you can do it for yourself.
आप सिर्फ पानी लाके रख सकते हैं, पीना उस इंसान
Exactly,
नहीं है.
exactly.
It's as simple as
Yes.
that. Thank you so much, sir. Today we had a great discussion जहाँ आपने हमें बहुत सारी बातें बताई, not just about the institute per se, but about the industry and about the sustainability factor, about the future prospects that the children have in store, and of course a word to the parents. I think we've had a very great, like you said, holistic growth is part of the institute. I think we've had a very holistic discussion today, and I want to thank you once again for being a part of this discussion. एंड टू ऑल ऑफ यू, अगर आपको लगता है कि आप अपने बच्चों को इस इंस्टीट्यूट में भेजना चाहते हैं, या बच्चे जो इस पॉडकास्ट को देख रहे हैं, इफ़ यू वांट टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस इंस्टीट्यूट, प्लीज़ डू विजिट द डिस्क्रिप्शन. आई एम गोना लीव द वेबसाइट, द फ़ोन नंबर एंड अदर डिटेल्स जहां आप इन्हें कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं. एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो मेक अ विजिट टू दिस इंस्टीट्यूट to personally go and have a look what they are actually offering. And with this, I would like to sign off, and I'll see you once again in some another episode with some different topic, with some different personality. And until then, goodbye and Jai Hind.